Two Nicolas Cage movies enter the ring, but only one comes out alive. It's Cinemassacre's Cage Match! Today it's National Treasure versus Bad Lieutenant Port of Call, New Orleans. Both are about a man who takes the law into his own hands. From the Constitution to the police force, both these films take you on a bullet-firing chase through moral ambiguity, heroism, and anti-heroism. But only one can claim the victory. Let the cage match begin!
All right, National Treasure versus Bad Lieutenant Port of Call, New Orleans.
Yeah, the Bad Lieutenant Port of Call.
Yeah, which I thought was, at first when you're like, oh, we got Nick Cage and Bad Lieutenant, I'm like, oh, he's in Bad Lieutenant, which I've never seen. But anyway, then I found out it's a sequel that isn't really a sequel, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's other than the fact that it's a dirty cop and it's called Bad Lieutenant.
And I think the first Bad Lieutenant's in New York.
So anyway, I'm going to do National Treasure first.
Okay.
I love National Treasure. I absolutely adore it. It is actually my favorite Nick Cage movie, so this one's going to be hard to beat. I mean, treasure hunts, conspiracy theories, they just rope me, and they're too much fun to ignore.
Yeah, plus it takes place in Philadelphia, where we're pretty much from.
Yeah, and I just love that, because I was, I think at the time, at the time it was being filmed, I was actually going to school there. And I remember some of my friends would always have Nick Cage sightings, like, oh, now they're filming there, and it was fun watching the movie and being able to piece it all together. Yeah. One of my friends actually had video of Nick Cage on a high-8 camera when they were doing the cemetery scene at Fifth and Pine.
Yeah.
He got this one close up where zoomed in and Nick Cage kind of looked up at him, and then he cut it into his movies and stuff. So yeah, I mean, every scene is entertaining. It's one of those movies where anytime I start it, I have to finish it no matter where I'm at. Every scene has a new twist that adds to the plot, and it just keeps the momentum going.
Which is funny, because John Voight in the movie, his dad, is always there's a clue and then another clue, and it never freaking ends. God damn it. So the movie kind of follows that.
Yeah, and it's absurd and it's illogical, but so is Indiana Jones. It's fun in that same way.
I do want to say, this was at a period of time where movies were trying to be the next something. So this was trying to be the next Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I guess. There's also Da Vinci Code, which came out the same year, which was about, no, not the movie, but the book was out.
Yeah.
Right.
And which was about conspiracy theories and subliminal things hidden inside Da Vinci paintings. But
there was also, Tomb Raider was also trying to be the next Indiana Jones, and both movies, the main character's father is John Voight. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
Both Indiana Jones, spiritual successors, they got John Voight to be the dad in both.
Oh, cool.
I do think that the Da Vinci Code, or National Treasure, is Da Vinci Code light, I guess, because that one's way too complicated. And
which one's too complicated?
Da Vinci Code,
yeah.
Whereas
you can't sell that as a family movie because of all the religious stuff. It gets a little... Yeah. I went to Catholic school at that time. Our teachers did not like the Da Vinci Code.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They couldn't accept it's just a story?
No, they thought people thought it was real. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see, knowing that they didn't know anything about movies.
Yeah, I loved how Tom Hanks, when they did the movie, they'd interview him about did you think Jesus Christ had a bloodline? He's like, well, I wasn't around back then, was I? So I was like, that's the best answer ever. Who the fuck knows? So anyway, National Treasure, the plot basically is there's a collection of treasures from all different parts of the world, from all different ancient empires. It's discovered by the Knights Templar and then by the Freemasons, and it has this long history. It was hidden somewhere in America by the Founding Fathers. And then in the present day, Nick Cage, he is...
a Benjamin Franklin Cage. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin Cage. Yeah. And I can tell you the plot, but it's going to get so long-winded. That's why I just have to read off my notes.
Okay.
So Ben and his partner Ian are searching for it. They find a clue in a ship in the Arctic, which suggests an invisible treasure map can be located on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
Ian wants to steal it, which makes them enemies from now on. Ben wants to protect it by also stealing it.
Yeah.
And then, so either way, they're both trying to steal it, but in different ways.
Right.
All right, so there's your plot.
So one plot point that's major in this is as soon as I saw, because this is my first time watching this movie.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I didn't watch it back in the day. Watched it for the review. And as soon as I saw Sean Bean, I'm like, there's your bad guy. He's gonna be the fucking bad guy.
He's not always the bad guy.
Yeah, he's either the bad guy, he betrays the team, or he dies.
What other movies? Examples?
Lord of the Rings, he dies.
GoldenEye, he dies.
Equilibrium, he dies. Yeah. You know what's funny? He survives both Silent Hills, horrifying, gory movies. He survives both. How the hell did he make it out of those movies where tons of people die, but in all these other movies he always gets killed?
Good for him.
Yeah, you know what? I saw it for the first time last night.
Oh, yeah.
I love Nicolas Cage, and I haven't gotten around to watching it. I know that's weird. I watched too much bullshit. No, I went to go see it at the time in theaters, and completely sold out. So me and this girl ended up seeing the SpongeBob movie instead. So whenever I think of National Treasure, I think, the SpongeBob movie's okay, but it's not really what I wanted to see with a girl in 8th grade.
I think I go to Nicolas Cage for hard R action.
Yeah.
That's crazy and over the top.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think he could pull off a Family Man, not to be confused with the movie Family Man that he's also.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Well, he's in everything. So
Yeah, he can any genre.
No, I know he could do. Like, I was kind of excited to see this because he did the same. Him and the director did The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and that was like a fun action movie. Nicolas Cage is more like. So, like, this director can work with Nicolas Cage. I feel like if Nicolas Cage is like, what if I did this? This director would be like, fuck you, no. Disney's paying us. You're going to do whatever I tell you to do. Whereas other movies, Nicolas Cage will be like, can I just put a gun in my pants aimed at my dick and walk around? Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead. Have fun.
one of the funniest scenes, I think, and this isn't your full-blown, like, full Cage movie. He doesn't go nuts in this or anything, but he has these very subtle comedy beats. So there's this part in early in the movie, I think, where him and his partner Riley, they go to the National Archives to warn Dr. Abigail Chase, who ends up tagging along with them eventually. But in this scene, he has to explain to her that the Declaration of Independence is in trouble, that somebody's going to come and steal it. And she's like, there's no way they can steal it. And he's like, well, I'd like to examine the back of it. And he's trying to beat around the bush, not say anything about the map because he knows that they're going to think he's nuts. And he just keeps avoiding it, and eventually it has to come out. He's like, well, there's an encryption on the back. And she's like, I've seen the back. There's nothing on it. And he's like... And then they both look at each other like, should I tell him?
There's a cartograph on there, like whatever.
It's a cartograph.
Yeah.
And she's like no, there's and he goes,
it's invisible.
Right. And that's where we lost the Department of Homeland Security.
and then when they talk about stealing it, and then Riley goes into all the ways in which it's protected,
which is very Ocean's 11 style.
Yeah.
Show how they do it.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I will say, like, I like that he went to Homeland Security and the FBI first. Like, like a worse movie would have been like, well, we got to steal it right away.
Yeah.
I like that he's like, well, let's go through the steps.
And the way they rationalize when he decides to steal it, it's not just like, well, I guess I'll steal it. He's like, he's reading it, and he kind of deciphers in the lines where they're saying, you got to do what's right. And he's like, well, I'm going to do what's right for my country. And it's like, they kind of make it seem more like a noble thing, even though he's still stealing the Declaration of Independence.
I like that he's just like a history nerd. Like, this seems like if Indiana Jones was real and he was like this history professor, I feel like in real life he'd be more like this. Like, I don't think Nicolas Cage shoots anyone. I don't think he gets into any fist fight.
Which is funny, because in his movies, he's either a badass, like the top field professional guy, or it's just like a big nerd.
Yeah, and then I kind of like, it was refreshing to see this. Because, like, Tomb Raider was, like, shooting and action and stuff, but, like, the action sequences in this, it's, like, him, like, figuring out puzzles, and I was, like, engaged. I didn't think it was boring.
Yeah.
You're right, it sucks you in. It's good.
I think the movie kind of force feeds you, like, each one, and then this, and then this, and then this, but it's fine,
Yeah, I enjoyed it,
Like the audience, the audience doesn't get a chance to figure stuff out because they do it for you.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But.
Yeah, I love the whole plan to steal it is they explain that it goes into like a vault where they like protect it, and it's and there's like heat sensors and everything, and the only time to steal is when it's in that vault for maintenance. So it's funny because it makes you use your imagination just to think, what would it really be like to try and steal that? Because it's got to be really hard. But
I wonder if they like made it up or that's what it was, and then after the movie that came up, they're like, nope, we're fixing this fucking thing. You know, like,
yeah.
But no, that scene's good. It reminds me of the Mission Impossible movies, which were still going on at that time. But you got to check those out. If you like the heist stuff in this, you would love the Mission Impossible movies. They're kind of like this, but it's funnier in this because it's just Nicolas Cage. It's just a dweeby dude. He's not Tom Cruise action man.
Even MI2.
Well, MI2 is a whole different story.
which had its own Metallica music video.
I love how when he gets the document, he gets the Declaration of Independence, and he's going through the gift shop where they have all those like souvenirs that are full scale and they look identical, and he's got the real one rolled up. She's like, "Are you going to pay for that?" And he ends up paying for the real thing.
Well, he ends up buying two.
Yeah,
so he can trick them.
Exactly.
Which is a good like because like they kind of hid that pretty well if you didn't like know.
Yeah. Because I got like tense. I'm like, oh no, they got it.
but then he uses his own credit card for it, so the FBI find him. Sorry, Harvey Keitel, the original bad lieutenant, finds out. And
both bad lieutenants. They met in this movie.
Well, there's another connection between this and Bad Lieutenant, which we'll get to real soon. I love the thing about the Benjamin Franklin glasses that he needs to get.
The magic spectacles. Like, they're like 3D.
Yeah,
like getting the map is only the first step. Then he's got to find the glasses to look at it.
It's funny that they kept coming back to the Declaration.
Yeah.
Like, it was always like the key.
Yeah.
Because they found the dates that found something else, and they go back, then they go back, then they go back. Like, they use it like three times, I think, to like find clues on it. So
I love how they bring the Declaration to Independence Hall where it was signed, and he actually stops and says, "Well, the last time it was here, it was being signed." And you stop and think, "Oh wow, that's true." I mean, it's never been there ever since. It would be cool if they brought it back for like an anniversary or something. But
how many people actually? Sorry, there's like a history thing. I don't think everyone signed it at the same time there.
No,
I think it was like a year until it was finally finished being signed.
Over a few years.
Yeah, but everyone always imagines like everyone's there at the same time. But that's still a cool idea.
I like the idea of John Hancock being like, "Biggest name, bitch!" Like,
it's probably because he didn't he probably didn't realize how many other people were going to sign it. He's like,
I just it's so funny to see him like up there on the roof of Independence Hall, and he has to remove a brick, and just being familiar with those locations and seeing them very often. It's just funny to just imagine that in this fictional world, Ben Franklin Gates is up there on the roof trying to solve a treasure hunt.
I got kicked out of Independence Hall once.
For what?
Did you try to when it was there, did you try to ring the bell or something?
No. I just
it's not there anymore.
We were on a class trip, and I just wanted to see more of it, and everyone was outside, so I went in by myself. And the girl's like, "Where's your chaperone?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm here by myself." She's like, "You can't be here by yourself. Get out." And I was like, "Wait, I'm being kicked out of Independence Hall for being independent." She didn't like that. So I got kicked out of Independence Hall.
For some reason, I always thought the Declaration of Independence was in Philly, because I know like the Constitution Center is in Philly, so I thought it was there. I didn't realize it was at the National Archives.
Yeah, it's at that. Oh, that's another thing. I'm a big I'm kind of not a big history nerd, but I love like American history and stuff. So that also got me real into this movie. I'm like,
I love the different takes on history, like all these these fictional alternate reality kind of things that rewrite history in a way. I mean, I love the dynamic between him and his partner Riley. He's really funny.
I think they could have had a better actor for him, because it feels like something that'd be like Seth Green would do or something. Like,
they probably couldn't get Seth Green. Said they got the guy who would end up being in the Hangover movies. That's the only thing I know that guy from.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was funny. Diane Kruger was a major babe. I liked her in this. It's a great cast. Unlike Gone in 60 Seconds, this uses a great cast. I forget where that is timeline-wise in this review.
I think that happens next.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Spoiler! Anyway, the cast is used really, really well in this. I was engaged. It was good. Christopher Plummer had a nice small part in the beginning.
I like that. And then it ends pretty cool, like when they finally get everyone together and they trick him by making Sean Bean go to Boston for the Paul Revere stuff, because he's not a history guy, so he didn't they trick him.
I like that. When he got the two lanterns, he messes it up and the guy doesn't know, and I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And they find the treasure, and everyone's happy, and they give it to the world, because the whole part, which is kind of rude, is the founding fathers didn't trust the citizens to have the stuff.
Yeah,
which is kind of mean.
Only the one who would decipher everything.
Yeah, they're like, "Fuck you," up to you. So I don't know.
I will say that the end with the treasure, I thought it was going to do that fake out ending, and I was getting kind of annoyed.
Oh, because they have like multiple kind of fake outs, like because they get deeper and deeper into this
They
thing.
get there and they're just like, well, we learned a lot, and it kind of reminds me of there's like that joke where it's like the real treasure was the friends we made along the way, and I thought the movie was doing that, where it's like, the treasure is on the smiling faces of the children. I'm like, don't do this to me.
I thought it was going to be something where it's like the founding fathers used the treasure to fund the colonial army to beat them, and then the treasure turned out to be the pin or something that she got in the beginning. Like, it was like a whole
thought
thing.
it was going to do something like that.
Like they melted it down to make musket balls.
I feel like they knew people like us were going to be like, bullshit, and they were like, all right, then we'll show the actual treasure. I'm like, okay, all right. Also, that was like a huge freaking cave underneath the city. I didn't see a lot of support beams in that cave. I'm a little afraid like Independence Hall's going to collapse.
And of course this movie has tons of suspension of disbelief. But the only thing that kind of bothered me was when they were in there and they're talking about all that. I'm like, you're stuck in a cave. Don't you want to get the fuck out? Like, why aren't you trying to get out?
And if anyone watching is a Freemason or in the Illuminati, if you can post all the secrets in the comments, like what they got right, what they didn't, where the secret treasure is, that'd be awesome.
I think we should talk about what this inspired. Because when I'm watching this, the whole Secret Society reminds me of Assassin's Creed, the video games, because that's the whole plot of those. The secret society that's been fighting
when did
through
Assassin's
years.
Creed first come out? Like 2007?
2007 or something. Yeah,
okay,
2008.
this is like 2004.
It reminds me. A lot of it reminds me of Uncharted. With the puzzles, and I'm like, oh, cool. So this movie had an impact on like games and stuff afterwards.
It does feel like a video game. This,
they could make a game of this.
I have a way to compare both of these movies because we haven't talked about Bad Lieutenant with video games. So I guess let's get to that and talk about the other video game, Bad Lieutenant.
So we're going to Bad Lieutenant now.
Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
My favorite movie from 2009. I love this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's my first time seeing it. Like I've seen clips of him freaking out and stuff.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, because I thought it was the '92 version, which it is a non-sequel, non-remake of, and because the original Bad Lieutenant was the only NC-17 movie that I have firsthand memory of being released in theaters.
Didn't know that.
I didn't see it, but I remember seeing an ad in the paper. I'm like, whoa, an NC-17 movie in theaters? That's got to be a really bad movie. And just being curious about it, and I have not seen that one yet, and I thought I finally was going to see it now, and then I realized, oh, this is a different one.
Yeah.
So
you didn't see the original. Director Werner Herzog also didn't see the original, but the original director knew about the remake. Can I read his quote real quick? Okay. So when I think his name was Abel Ferreira, when he found out that they were remaking Bad Lieutenant, this is what he said. Let me find it. As far as remakes go, I wish these people die in hell. I hope they're all in the same streetcar and it blows up.
does he mean the characters?
No, he means the people making the movie.
Wow.
And then Werner Herzog had to be like, I've never seen a film by him. I have no idea who he is. They've since worked it out. They've since met in real life and like worked out their issues.
Oh, wow.
But like that was like the drama with this movie. Abel Ferreira is a good director. Check out his movies, King of New York and Invasion of the Body Snatchers is really good.
All right, so Cage plays Terrence McDonough, who's a police sergeant who gets promoted to lieutenant. Meanwhile, his drug addiction gets promoted from painkillers to cocaine.
Yeah.
So he's a drug-dependent lieutenant?
Yeah. So he's on a murder investigation, but along the way, he bullies, blackmails, and abuses people verbally and physically in order to get more drugs. I mean, he is downright terrifying in this movie.
Which is weird, because you think that there's like this shimmer of hope in him, where he's like, I'm trying to solve this murder. 5 African nationals were killed over this drug thing, and their family and kids and all that, and there's a sad scene where he's like looking at this beta fish that she left in the room, or this little girl wrote a poem about it, and then later he's like, fuck it, I just did it because I want drugs. So like, this guy's such an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, he is a bad lieutenant.
He is a very bad lieutenant.
And he's the main character, too, and you're stuck with him, and
it's also not like redeeming what he does in the movie, but it's kind of tragic because like he gets injured during Katrina. Hurricane Katrina's happening. There's a prisoner left in a cell. It's flooding. He gets injured jumping down to save him.
Does he?
And he ruins his $50 underwear.
His underwear. That's how he got.
At that point, he's already a lieutenant. Yeah,
No,
Wait,
he
wait,
becomes a
they
lieutenant
He's
after
sergeant.
that.
He's
No, he's a sergeant. He
sergeant
becomes a
in that,
lieutenant
right?
after Katrina.
But I thought sergeants are always wear the uniform.
no,
I mean,
no.
I think in that he's sergeant, and then
Or
he
is he a
gets
detective
promoted
or something?
Yeah.
after that
Oh,
first. You're like,
I assume that he got hurt in another incident.
Oh,
No, no,
or
no.
his back.
It's jumping in. He jumps in and he hurts his back, which turns it like so. He does an act of heroism. He does something noble.
Yeah.
Gets injured, turns into this horrifying monster.
Yeah.
And then this dark, like comedic twist, like becoming this monster is what ends up avenging the death of this family.
Yeah.
It's like this weird irony. I love this
Well,
movie.
it's much like National Treasure. Things that they plant in the beginning worked out in the end. Because then the guy that he saved from the cell helps him out with his drug addiction at the end. Well, when he is now a bad captain.
Eva Mendes plays his prostitute girlfriend,
Yeah, of
who
course.
also co-starred alongside Cage in Ghost Rider.
Yes.
So
They have better chemistry in this one.
who I think the first time I ever seen Eva Mendes, she's in the car in the Will Smith Miami music video. When she
Really?
It's like Bienvenido a Miami. Yeah. So there you go.
The only thing I remember with this movie, there's moments that stick out. I mean, because he's dark and serious, but then there's parts where like he goes full Cage, and it's so fucked up you have to laugh at it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, like he calls an old lady a cunt. he cuts off her oxygen supply, points a gun at her.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, like this guy is...
In an old age home, and then it turns out her son is like a senator or something, which gets him in trouble.
And he can't. I don't want to skip ahead, but yeah, he does some fucked up stuff, and he's like constantly on drugs. He's hallucinating lizards that clearly aren't there. Not like that alligator that's right there.
What?
That alligator that's right there.
Where?
You guys don't see it?
Well, that's not an alligator, I don't think.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I will say I do love the gator cam out of nowhere and the iguana cam. And Werner Herzog is a maniac.
Can I just say, I've never seen a bad... I haven't seen all of them because he's made like 10,000 movies and documentaries. I've never seen a bad Werner Herzog thing. Like Grizzly Man, great documentary. Nosferatu's really good. Rescue Dawn, this. And I guess our fans right now, they're all in the comments saying, please mention he's in The Mandalorian. Please. Yes, Werner Herzog is in The Mandalorian. But he's also a great filmmaker. Check out his movies.
And also Veruca Balk is in this. Out of
Yeah,
nowhere?
Veruca Balk.
Yeah.
Oh, we put this on the list in the future. We have to do the 90s Island of Dr. Moreau just so we could talk about how much of a mess that movie was.
Oh, yeah.
The cop that he's sleeping with in this after the highway scene?
Uh-huh.
She's in that movie, and there's a famous story where the producers had to catch her at an airport because she was trying to fly out of the country to get out of the movie.
Wow.
So let's do Island of Dr. Moreau at some point
That'll
so we
be
can talk more about it.
interesting,
Because
yeah.
Val Kilmer's also in that movie.
Oh, wow.
And Val Kilmer's in this.
Yeah.
I have seen that, but back when it came out.
Oh, no, there's a whole documentary on how fucked that movie is.
I'd rather watch The Craft. But yeah, I forgot about Val Kilmer's in this, riding high off of Batman Forever.
No, this is years after Batman Forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's another really funny scene where you just have to play the clip.
TV, the game, right? Ronaldo Hayes, he got tossed the ball and he was running with it. He was running. He jumped over 3 linebackers in midair. He sprouted antlers like a gazelle, like an elk. He landed again. He ran. He scored a touchdown.
That's the crack talking.
This movie, it wasn't written to be kind of like a weird dark comedy. I think it became one. His performance, I think this is Werner Herzog being like, do whatever you want. But also, through his acting, the relationship of him and the prostitute, it became more romantic, where I think it was originally written where it was just they were just using each other for drugs. But, he's a good actor. Nicolas Cage is a good actor. I know he's in schlocky stuff.
Because
he's a great actor.
He's kind of being her pimp, but only to get drugs from other people. It's kind of weird.
And you kind of feel bad, if you know anyone with addiction, you kind of feel bad because it's he probably is in a ton of pain. This happens. This is how it starts. Doctors are like, yeah, take some Vicodin. And it's you want to...
Yeah.
There should probably be more stuff in place for this, but who knows?
He does whatever he wants whenever he wants.
I love New Orleans in this movie. I love New Orleans. I was working there for a bit, and this movie kind of made me miss New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
This is not the movie.
How the fuck?
I know, because this movie treats it as like a total dive and its misery and stuff.
And because when this came out, like there were still like boats on the street in New Orleans. Like the whole place got torn up by.
Well,
Katrina.
I filmed a TV show in New Orleans, and I had a really great time. Actually, the car accident scene in this made me real nostalgic because every time we left the city to go shoot something, we saw no less than 10 accidents on the road. So I don't know, Louisiana.
Well, because they ran over a gator?
No, I think it might have something to do with the drive-through daiquiris. I don't think that's the best for the drivers of Louisiana.
Drive-through daiquiris?
Yeah, they have drive-through daiquiris down there. If you leave the paper on the straw, it counts as a closed bottle. I'm guessing a lot of people are breaking the rules.
Oh, like fucking Bourbon Street.
Yeah, but
shit.
anyway, so I'm looking at a lot of the locations that I saw when I was down there. Like, even though this is a horrifying movie where, like, there's abuse and stuff, I'm like, oh, I want to go back to New Orleans. I had a fun time there.
Well, I guess to compare the films, it's very much like a guy, as you said in the beginning, a guy taking the law into his own hands to do what's right.
Yeah.
And as I think these... I think someone should turn both of these movies, or at least Bad Lieutenant, into like an RPG. Because like he starts out, he gets another party member. Because remember, he has the kid at one point, the kid that the witness, and then he has Ava Mendes, and then he has a dog out of nowhere.
Which that kid was Forrest Whitaker's son.
Oh, right.
He played the young Forrest Whitaker in Black Panther. That's how I like recognize. I'm like, oh, that's young Forrest Whitaker. I know. I forget his first name.
So,
I still want the Wizard of Oz RPG.
we'll do Bad Lieutenant, and then we'll use that source code to make Wizard of Oz. Very similar.
Yeah.
This is kind of like Toto's the dog. I'm gonna shoot Toto.
I will say, like,
So what about the dancing scene? We would just have to.
When they finally, So I guess what happens is he befriends these gang members, and then because of the girl, the Italian mob comes to hit him at the same time.
So he becomes tight with this gang because he knows that they killed the family, but he can't prove it. So he becomes friends with them. He steals a crack pipe off a girl, and then the pimp, Eva Mendes, was that her pimp or something?
I don't know.
It was a client or someone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the senator, the politician's son, not related to the other politician who's also
a different politician.
It's a big web that he's tangled himself in. So they send the gangsters after him, and he uses his gang members to go after the other gangsters.
Yeah,
and
he
at the
has,
same
like, the
time, he
shotgun under
plants
the
the
table.
evidence on rapper Exhibit. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
so the one gangster kills the other gangster, and he thinks he's dead, and then this happens.
Shoot him again.
What fool?
His soul's still dancing.
Even just that, I've never seen anybody breakdance to a harmonica.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
With a mohawk.
My biggest regret is when my iguana was still. I had a big iguana that I didn't recreate that scene with her, me dancing and her just walking past me.
It's your favorite, I guess, heist hunt. Well, it's kind of like a hunt movie. Clues movie.
Well, between these two, and actually for me, National Treasure wins the whole month. But that's because I just really love that movie. I do think if you're looking for a funnier, like a more wacky, off-the-wall Cage movie, go for Bad Lieutenant. But I think the better movie is National Treasure.
Oh, it's tough because you have on one hand, you have I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence, and then you have smoke my lucky crack pipe. I don't know. It might be a tie for me. Do you want to break it?
Oh, Bad Lieutenant, 100%.
Oh, well,
this
now we're in a
might be
super-
my favorite Nicolas Cage movie, so we got both of them.
And it goes, as always, let us know in the Twitter poll what you think. Which are your favorites? And in the comments as well.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah.